a team led by Chief Election Commission review of details of all the review meetings held here. Thereafter, the floor would be open to your questions. I would request you to please introduce yourself with your name and organization before you ask your question.
The term of the State Assembly in Manipur is due to expire on 19th March 2022, and elections are due for 60 assembly constituencies in the state. Election Commission of India is committed to conduct the forthcoming elections in free, fair and inducement-free manner, and to make the elections more participative, inclusive and accessible. The Commission has noted that the voter turnout in Manipur has been traditionally very good. The voter turnout in 2017 assembly constituencies was 86.36%, which was dropped down in 2019 elections to 82.78%. Many districts like Thobal, Chandel, Imphal East and Bishanpur recorded over 90% turnout in the last assembly elections, which is really heartening, and that shows the participative nature of the Manipur electorate. Our endeavour, however, is to facilitate higher participation of all voters with a special focus on new voters, women, persons with disability and senior citizens. I will elaborate these details later. During this visit, the representative of political parties, namely All India Trinamool Congress, Bahujan Samaj Party, Bharatiya Janata Party, Communist Party of India, Communist Party of India Marxist, Indian National Congress, Nationalist Congress Party, National People's Party and Naga People's Front came to meet the Commission, and Commission has taken cognizance of their views and suggestions. After meeting the political parties, the Commission reviewed overall poll preparedness with the district election officers and the SPs of 11 electoral districts, including the 5 revenue districts, as also the Chief Electoral Officer, State Police Nodal Officer and Nodal Officer of Central Armed Forces. The Commission also met with the senior officers of all enforcement agencies like Income Tax, like Customs Central Excise, State GST, State Excise officials, the BSF, the RBI, Airport Authority of India, to review the details in comprehensive strategy to curb misuse of money, drugs, liquor and freebies distribution during the election, as also ensuring effective and prompt action on the ground. The Commission has also met the Director General, Lieutenant General Assam Rifles to review the strategy for effective border management and prevention of any influx of people for illegal goods from across the borders and associated help. The Commission discussed the COVID-related strategy, management and law and order, administrative logistics, budget with the Chief Secretary and DGP. Before coming to the press conference, Commission has also met the all Manipur Christians organization also. The concerns highlighted by the political parties. During the meeting held yesterday, the representative of various political parties expressed their views and gave suggestions to the Commission for free and fair elections. Most of the representatives expressed their satisfaction on the work done by the Chief Electoral Officer and the initiatives launched by the ECI like C-Vigil and postal ballot facilities. The key issues highlighted by the various political parties are as under: cutting across party lines, representatives desired that elections should be conducted in a free, fair and inducement-free manner. They expressed the apprehension of use of money and muscle power to influence the elections in the state. They requested for strict vigil on excessive expenditure and inducement by the candidates. They also requested strict monitoring of banking channels for any suspicious transactions. Some concerns regarding intimidation of voters and security of the contesting candidates and party workers were also expressed. Most parties expressed the desire for webcasting or CCTV coverage in vulnerable areas to prevent any instances of booth capturing. Parties also requested the Commission to ensure non-partisan behavior from the government machinery. There were concerns about pre-poll violence in some of the constituencies with the request for immediate deposition of the licensed arm in the state. Political parties also requested to ensure confinement of Sioux cadres in their camps to avoid their undue influence on the election process. The political parties also appealed for rigorous training of polling personnel for smooth conduct of polls. I shall now apprise you of the specific initiatives which were taken by the Election Commission of India to address these concerns and how we have improved our electoral role during the SSR period. ECI has always recognized that after voters, political parties are the most important stakeholder in the election process. The Commission has assured the political party representatives that our endeavour is to conduct free, fair, participative, inclusive and inducement-free elections. Political parties appreciated the efforts of the Commission during the special summary revision of electoral rolls, and we have to appreciate that the right to vote is a valued responsibility on the voters. We should make every effort to participate in the elections to strengthen the democracy. I have always mentioned that every voter in effect has two specific touch points with the Election Commission. One is at the time of registration and the second at the time of casting its vote. The final electoral rolls for special summary after summary revision of 2022 has been published on 5th January 2022. I am very happy to say that 49,464 new female voters have been added in the electoral rolls and 39,100 new male voters have been added. So here again, the ladies have outsmarted the men and more ladies have come into the electoral roll. Over 49,491 first-time voters, that is between the age of 18 and 19, they have been added to the electoral roll, and for that our officers have done a lot of work. They have gone to various colleges, they have developed the electoral literacy clubs in the colleges, and they contacted the various youngsters. They motivated them to come in the voter list, and with that result, 59,491 new voters have come in the electoral list. Electoral gender ratio in the state is 1065, which is an increase of 22 points since 2017 assembly elections. Here also that the gender ratio is very good in Manipur, which is 1065. The CEO has also informed that they have worked very hard in the area of mapping of persons with disabilities. At the moment, there are 14,565 persons with disabilities, 41,867 80 plus age voters, 21,935 service voters which have been mapped. As a result of intensive efforts by the Commission during the recently concluded SSR, the number of PWD voters has increased from 7,601 to 14,565, which is a quantum jump of 92%. So in our endeavour for accessible election, in our endeavour that no voter should be left behind, we have really identified the new voters, the female voters and the person with disabilities who does not want to come forward for voting list, and there has been a quantum jump of 92%. As we brace for the polls, the total number of elections, total from the electors in the state is 20,34,966 on date of final publication. Further, approximately 13,500 voters are expected to be added till the finalization of the electoral rolls for conduct of elections as part of continuous updation of electoral rolls. There has been a lot of improvement in the polling stations also. The Commission compliments the state for promoting gender participation despite a lot of logistic challenges. As a part of the Commission's initiative to provide a comfortable experience to women voters, at least 487, I repeat the number, 487 all women managed polling stations will be set up, which is something around 16% of the all polling stations. There will be all polling parties will be will be female, so that there will be good experience and better participation and better empowerment of women, which we want, and therefore 487, almost around 500 polling stations will be totally managed by the women. There are certain assembly constituencies and which will be totally managed by the total complete assembly constituencies will be managed by the women, which are Singjamai, Thobal, Yashikul, Venkai, and Chura Chandpur will have all polling stations managed exclusively by women. This is, I think, the first time in any of the state that the whole assembly constituency will be totally managed by the women poll officials. There will be 115 model polling stations also in the state, and the Commission has also directed all the COs and DOs to ensure availability of assured minimum facilities to all polling stations. And assured minimum facilities will include the facility of water, electricity, toilets, ramp at all polling stations. So my all polling stations will be absolutely accessible with the assured minimum facilities. And keeping in view of the COVID social distancing norms, as we are continuously struggling with the COVID, we have reduced the number of persons per polling stations from 1500 to 1250. And with this particular reduction, 174 new polling stations have been created, and out of the 2,968 polling stations have been developed now because of this particular reduction of the number per polling station. The Commission has also directed all DOs to ensure proper signage and multiple entry and exit points at locations with more than one polling booths, so that the crowding should not be there on any polling station. The very important thing is regarding the webcasting. In this state, there are 2,968 polling stations, and we are webcasting 2,400 polling stations. The webcasting facility will be available on 80% polling station to ensure complete transparency of the polling process on the polling station. This is also one of the highest in any of the state that we are having the webcasting. One of the highest, I would say that. And the remaining will be covered with the offline videography. As a measure to make the elections truly accessible, appropriate facilitation including pick up and drop, wheelchairs, volunteers, assistance, and the postal ballot facilities are being provided to all the MAB persons with disabilities and 80 plus senior citizen voters in the state. A new initiative has also been taken by the Election Commission of India that is almost taking the ECI at the doorstep of the voters by introducing the postal ballot facility for senior citizens, COVID-19 suspects or affected persons and persons related to the notified essential services is being provided. The postal ballot facility is an optional facility and ensures total secrecy of voting. This is not a compulsory thing that 80 plus age persons, the persons with disabilities and the suspect of the COVID, they can opt for this facility. In this facility, the persons will go to the home of the persons, and with the proper transparency, the micro observer will also be there, the candidate will also be intimated about that, the videography will also be done, and in that atmosphere, the voting will be done at the home of the voter. So that is absolutely a new initiative which has been taken by the ECI, and that will be introduced first time in Manipur. There was representative candidates will also be present, and the total procedure will be videographed to ensure complete transparency and the secrecy as part. The application from 12D option for postal facility is distributed from the day of announcement and collected by the BLO within 5 days of the notification. So I would like to say that it is a new initiative which is being taken so that the persons can even cast the vote who cannot go to the polling stations in that particular category. And for service voters, the persons who are in defense and in different places altogether, electronically transmitted postal ballot system has been instituted, and postal ballot for these services electors will be sent electronically within 24 hours of the last date of withdrawal of candidature. And in Manipur, there are 21,935 service voters who will be given that particular facility. It is heartening to note that the state has 749 centenarian voters. When we were taking a review of all the districts, then we found that there are around 749 persons at the age of 100 plus. So we have asked to felicitate those voters, give them extra facilities so that they can be a role model to youngsters that even at the crossing the age of 100 they are coming to cast the vote, and that should act as a real model and a role model to the youngsters to participate more heartedly and more enthusiastically into the voting process. The Commission has also taken note of polling stations in the difficult terrains. In Tamil districts, there are 17 polling stations where polling parties need to walk a long distance to reach the polling stations. There are polling stations located on island in districts like Bishanpur. The Commission has directed that sufficient arrangements for boat for such polling stations will be ensured, and a nodal security officer along with the polling parties will be deployed so that the security and the safety of the voters can be ensured. The Commission has asked the CO to step up physical and digital outreach for wider awareness, familiarity, and use of EVM VVPAT. We are conducting a lot of outreach programs. We are educating the persons how to cast vote on EVM and VVPAT. So each and every area we are sending the van, we are sending the persons so that the persons will be fully educated to cast their vote on EVM. Though the turnout has been quite good, but we have still identified 300 polling stations where the turnout was less. So under the mission 300, which we are starting, that where the turnout is less, we are making a targeted intervention through sweep activities, voters education, motivation, contacting through the BLO, and making some other interventions, writing to them, talking to them that why they should not cast the vote. We have identified certain areas where the percentage of voting was less. So definitely we would like to improve in those areas also, so that we will absolutely inclusive election, absolutely more participative elections, and we would like that in certain areas when it is the percentage is less, we will motivate them and we will like that they should cast their vote properly. The Commission has directed CO and depots to prioritize low voter turnout pockets for targeted sweep interventions to ensure inclusive and participative elections. Publicity of criminal antecedent. That is another step actually which we want, that the voter should be fully informed before casting the vote. Candidates having criminal antecedent, whether independent or sponsored by a political party, and political parties sponsoring such candidates are required to publish detailed information including their criminal antecedent. If there are criminal antecedent of those candidates, that will be totally published on the website of the parties. The candidate will have to publish it into the newspapers, in the digital media also, that these are the cases against him, and the political parties will also publish the same, so that the person will be absolutely, the voter should know that this candidate has got criminal antecedents. And for that, in that directions, we have also developed an app that is Know Your Candidate. That is a mobile app. Anybody can download it, and they can find out the antecedent of all candidates. And if there are criminal antecedent, that will also flag in front of them that this particular candidate has got a criminal background. So therefore, the person should be absolutely informed before casting the vote, and that is a very important step for the information of the voters regarding the candidates. And we are also maintaining a proper COVID protocol. All polling officials and the police personnel are fully vaccinated. Those who will be on the duty have been declared as frontline workers and they are fully vaccinated. And those which have been left with the second dose will also be necessarily covered in the next 10 days. On the polling booths, there should be absolutely a COVID arrangement. The thermal scanner, the mask, the sanitizers, they will be available. And the gloves, so that they can put the EVM and they should not be touched by anybody else. So those arrangements have been fully made, and so that there should be proper arrangement of the COVID. And we have also mentioned that all DOs will make adequate measures for biomedical waste collection and safe disposal shall be ensured at all polling stations as per the statutory requirement. And Commission has directed all DOs to ensure COVID protocols at all the polling stations. So we want to give a message that our voter is safe and our protocol is totally maintained at the polling station, so that the vote and the voter both should be safe. As far as the expenditure management is concerned, as the political parties have mentioned about the expenditure and money inducements, the other inducements to the persons, we have taken a very strict actions onto this particular front. And the Commission has got a zero tolerance towards the abuse of money power or the government machinery's behavior to any party. The Commission has assured that the political party representatives that level playing field will be ensured for all parties so that the electoral process is not vitiated. The district officers and enforcement agency officials have been instructed to monitor expenditure sensitive constituencies and ensure comprehensive, coordinated actions. Conducting inducement free and ethical election is of prime importance for the Election Commission of India. The Commission has a multi-pronged comprehensive strategy for curbing the use of money power, drugs, liquor and freebies in elections. The Commission has directed the enforcement agencies, which we had a meeting only this morning, to work in close coordinations and not in their own silos. It has been impressed upon officers to ensure exemplary, effective action for conducting peaceful, inducement-free elections. Directions have been given to the police and excise authorities to strictly monitor flow of liquor meant as inducement in the electoral process. We have also appointed 20 expenditure observers in the whole state. They will absolutely keep a watch and a vigil on the expenditure, that whether the expenditure is within limits or any expenditure which is not counted or anything which is being distributed in freebies. So that type of arrangement for that, there are senior officers of the government which have been put over there. And above them, we have also appointed a special expenditure observer who is a retired Director General, and he will oversee for the whole state that whether the expenditure of the candidate is absolutely within the prescribed limit, and any unauthorized expenditure should not be done by any of the candidate, and we should plug it. And the freebies should not be distributed into that particular area. We have appointed two more special observers, for the general management on the whole polling process, and the special police observer has also been appointed to see the law and order situation in the state. They are the ears and eyes of the Commission, and we will be taking a feedback. They will also be helping our district authorities to ensure that all guidelines, all directions of the commissions are fulfilled at the ground level. We have also spoken about the law and order management, and we have discussed with all police officials and in this regard that the law and order situation should be absolutely maintained during the election process, and there should be no chance of vitiating the atmosphere of the election process at all. The Commission, I would like to mention about one of the important app actually. The Commission has also harnessed technology to facilitate empowerment of voters to report violation of model code of conduct and their use of money power by activating the C-Vigil app. The Commission has developed an app, it's called C-Vigil, in which that particular app should be downloaded and it is available. And if there is a violation which comes to the notice of any public person or anybody, he can send that particular after downloading to the Commission, and Commission will just capture the latitude and longitude of that event, and within 100 minutes the action will be taken by the Commission. Some team over there will be reaching over there. So whether it is a violation of MCC by any party or any candidate, or you find any distribution of freebies or any other activity which vitiates the political process, that can be immediately communicated to the Election Commission, and our CEO has popularized that. He has talked to all political parties that they should use it. So you people also, I would like that it is just almost a participation of all citizens in conducting a better election, in conducting it a free, fair and impartial elections. So until unless every citizen is awake about it, every citizen is absolutely conscious of it, that is very useful actually, and it should be immediately communicated to us so that the action can be taken. And your support is absolutely needed for that particular thing. Another is the social media. The strict watch is being kept on the social media posts, is being kept to ensure the election atmosphere is not vitiated by misinformation. And media organizations should be more alert, vigilant and responsible. We have got a voluntary code of ethics with the social media also, that if there is any objectionable post there, they will have to remove it within 3 hours, so that it should be we can take action in that particular post. And I would like to sum up these things that the Commission of is absolutely reiterates its commitment to conduct free, fair, and peaceful, and accessible, inclusive, and inducement-free elections. And elections are literally the festival of democracy. It comes after 5 years. So each and every person should absolutely participate and let the Manipur be one of the pioneers whose turnover should be one of the highest in the country, so that we can say here the persons are absolutely conscious of their rights. They have used that particular right and the percentage is very high. So that way we would like, and that is why we are focusing on each and every voter from all category, and all education and outreach programs are being conducted, so that it can be definitely as celebrated as a festival of democracy, and the person can participate wholeheartedly into this thing. And definitely I will like that the participation of the public through the C-Vigil, the public should be well informed about the candidate through the Know Your Candidate app, through Know Your Candidate app also. And for transparency, we have absolutely kept the webcasting of almost 80% of the polling stations. Therefore, we request for your cooperation in the forthcoming elections. Media is an important friend of the Commission, who have always communicated, who have always disseminated the information of Election Commission to the various voters. And I really need your full support, so that the proper information should go to the voters and they can come out in large number to cast their vote, and the Manipur can be one of the states which we can see as an example to all of the other states in regarding the participation of the electorate into this particular process. Thank you so much. They have taken that action that all the persons who are dead or who have shifted their places, they have been removed also during that particular time of the SSR. So large number of persons have been deleted from the SSR who have been shifted from here. Overall.
My name is Vishwajit and I'm working as secretary in one local particular Kursana. My question is, some of the organizations have made a proposal to reschedule the first phase of election as it falls on Sunday. What is your view on that proposal made by various organizations on this rescheduling of this election first phase?
As I mentioned you before coming to the press conference, we have met that organization. The persons have come, they have explained their positions to us. So we have noted with that, and we will be having discussions in the Commission after reaching to Delhi, and we will take appropriate action whatever is required for that. Campaigning this time, we have said that it should be more digital communication with the voters, and we had stopped the rallies for almost 1 month. So we had increased that particular limit to 28 lakh by the candidate.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh, it's over. Will not come from home to the polling stations. The Commission's endeavor is that each and everyone should participate. So even if he is suffering from COVID, we have given an extra time of 1 hour. In the last hour, the person who is suffering from COVID, he can come in the PPE kit. We will provide. Our officers have also been provided that PPE kit, and he can cast the vote. Voting is such an important right that it cannot be rejected to anyone, and it should not be rejected to the booth.
But there is one problem. There is those who come for vaccination at home, door to door. They threaten these voters that they will not be able to cast vote.
No, that's absolutely wrong. You should tell to those persons through media that nobody can be denied the right to vote. Every vote counts, and no voter should be left behind. That's very clear.